Hey there, and thanks for tuning into episode 5 of the 5-Minute EVE News Recap. I'm your host, Alias Zero. Now, I have had a few requests for an RSS feed and a website, so those are in the works. Hopefully I'll have them up soon, and I'll let you guys know as soon as I do. Now for the news for the week ending October 16, 2014. Up first are changes to the world of EVE Online. The following changes will all relate to the upcoming Phoebe expansion on November 4th, 2014. Cloaking is being changed to the way it used to be. CCP felt that bomber fleets are currently too accessible, so cloaked ships will now decloak other cloaked ships within 2 kilometers. For older players of the game, this change re-implements the old cloaking mechanic. On the topic of bombing, stealth bombers and their bombs are getting a huge rework. Bombs will be getting a 17% reduction in speed with a 2-second increase in flight time, resulting in slower bombs that fly the same distance. The effect from the bomb deployment skill will be doubled, allowing pilots to fire bombs a little over a minute apart with Bomb Deployment 5 and a Tech 2 launcher. Additionally, anti-capital void bombs will be added that drain 15,000 capacitor but do require a direct hit. All bombers are gaining some tank, a little CPU, and their cargo capacities are being normalized to allow for 3 bombs plus torpedoes in their cargo hold. Warp speeds will be reduced to 4.5 AU per second, agility will be nerfed, and align times will be increased to roughly 9 seconds for all 4 bombers. Heavy interdictors are getting a rebalance and quality of life adjustment in Phoebe. All Hictors will now be able to overheat their bubble generators, giving a 33% reduction in bubble cycle time. Also, the focus point script will now prevent capital ships from jumping through gates. As far as actual changes to the ships, Hictors will now offer more when filling a combat role, with changes to their bonuses now including rate of fire and cap reduction. A new heavy interdictor roll bonus will now grant 20% additional resistance to their primary type of tank as well. CCP is considering lifting the restriction on use of Doomsdays in LowSec. The potential change comes as a revisiting of the initial restriction that was applied when Doomsdays were AoE only weapons. SOV structures will be getting a hit point nerf in Phoebe. The changes come as part of the interim fix to SOV mechanics, significantly shortening parts of the sovereignty structure grind. Hobo jamming, a mechanic that allows an interdictor pilot to prevent a capital ship from warping off of station with virtually zero risk, will no longer be possible with the coming Phoebe expansion. With the change, interdiction probes will be destroyed immediately if an interdictor docks while it has a probe on the same grid. Jump drive, jump portal, and jump bridge use are all being reworked. Additionally, the jump fatigue mechanic is being tweaked in order to avoid discouraging certain types of play. Jump freighters will have their range increased to 10 light years, up from 5 in the original proposal, and will retain the initial 90% jump fatigue reduction. All hauling ships will also enjoy the 90% reduction in jump fatigue. Black Ops battleships and ships using covert jump portals will see a 50% reduction in jump fatigue, and Black Ops ships will have their range increased to 8 light years. The jump drive calibration skill is also being tweaked with the coming travel changes, with the bonus being dropped from 25% to 20%. To compensate for this, jump freighters will have their base jump distance increased to 2.5 light years from 2.22 repeating. CCP Seagull has posted a list of features coming with the Phoebe release. Within the post is a recap of an upcoming feature that many capsulers have wanted for a long time, unlimited skill queue. Instead of the normal 24 hours of individual skills being queued, capsulers will now be able to queue as many skills as they like. However, trial accounts are accepted from this change. In this week's CSM news, Major J Silva has resigned from his post on CSM 9. He's being replaced with the 16th place runner-up Gorski Kar. Best of luck to both of them. Recently, Major J Silva has posted his character for sale on the EVE Character Bazaar. In this week's PvP news, Wormhole Group Laserhawk successfully forced an escalation of 6 fraternity carriers in EIH Tech IU. Laserhawk's member Archimedes Abyss had found a rattlesnake in Archon earlier in the same pocket of space, and Fraternity later decided to assist in defending a second tackled Archon with further carrier and subcap support. Disavowed member He Dares has posted a fantastic video of a Disavowed versus the Last Chancers brawl. The Last Chancers had rolled into Disavowed's home wormhole and both sides formed up to fight, resulting in a capital escalation. Disavowed losses were minimal, while the Last Chancers lost 7 carriers and a handful of subcaps totaling over 27 billion ISK. The YouTube video link can be found below, as well as the Killboard report. Multiple Titans have been downed in the last week. The first Titan, a Leviathan, belonged to Happy Cartel and was killed by Soviet Union, Red Alliance, and friends. The second was an Erebus belonging to Goonswarm Federation that was destroyed by Black Legion and CCP TAC US. The third Titan of the week was another Erebus, this time belonging to Noli Secunda. This pricey Titan weighed in at 158 billion ISK and was killed by a Shadow Cartel Dreadnought fleet. Pandemic Legion, Hero Coalition, and PraviBlock have engaged in another large-scale battle in the Warren Catch. Though PL has appeared to be more closely aligned with PraviBlock in the past, their assistance was offered to Hero in this particular instance. This 800-man battle saw many capital losses and resulted in 74 billion ISK in ship and pod losses. And in our community news for the week, eVegas is kicking off this Friday with a pub crawl. The convention proper starts on Saturday at 10 a.m. with CCP Guard and CCP Falcon welcoming capsuleers to the convention. Events for eVegas include seminars on FCing, a Nave keynote, meets and greets, panels with popular pilots and devs, and a couple parties. Tickets are currently sold out, but a limited number of passes will be available for purchase at the convention. I'm going to be attending eVegas this year, and I hope to report back and share some pictures and videos of the event. If you see me, please stop by and say hello. That about wraps it up for this week's 5-Minute EVE News Recap. As always, I'm your host Alias Zero. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope to see you next week.